everybody, it's James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and in today's lesson I'm going to show you how to play Twist and Shout by the Beatles. This one is an absolute classic. It's just a 3-chord song, and if you want to just play the chords and the progression, it's not too difficult. We're also going to add some extra stuff to it that'll make it sound like the original recording. If along the way you find you need any extra help, I have a bunch of resources. There's my free ebook, which covers all the basics of rhythm guitar, chords, and strumming. That's completely free. There's a link down below for that. I also have my complete beginner's course, which does that, but 100 times over. It thoroughly goes through everything that you need to go from absolute beginner to where you want to be, a confident strummer on guitar. There's also the chord chart for this on my Patreon, and let's just get started with the chord shapes. First, we have a D chord. From there, we switch to a G. And when I switch from D to G, I'm leaving my third finger down. That makes it a lot smoother. Then from G, we go to A, and we can play A like this. Or we can play it with one finger, just like that. So those are our 3 chord shapes. We have D, pivot off our ring finger into G, and then go into A. And from A, we go back into D, so I slide my third finger up, and I complete my D shape. I would practice going from G to A a whole bunch as well. Just build up that muscle memory. It doesn't matter which way you play it. All that really matters is that you're consistent. When you switch from G to A, maybe you put down that finger, that finger, that finger. Do it that way every time, over and over again, so that you can build up the muscle memory and get those 3 chord shapes down in that order: D, G, A, back to D. And now let's just strum through them, downstrokes only, just so we can work on the counting, playing them the right amount of time, and the transitions as well. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. D 2 times, G 2 times, and A 4 times. Over and over again, a couple more times. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So make sure you can do it just like that, downstrokes only, 2 times on D, 2 times on G, 4 times on A. Nice and steady, steady counting, steady strumming. And once you're comfortable with that, we can add the pattern. It goes like this. So the first thing you'll notice is we're going through all the chord shapes as we do our strumming pattern. So our strumming pattern contains all the switches and everything within it. Let's break it down that way. We're starting off on D, and we're going to do 2 downstrokes on D. 1, 2. And that's it for the D chord. And then we switch to G, and we go down, up. And let's stop it right there. Let's just get that first bit going. 1, 2, 3. So on beat 3, we have a down, up on the G chord. Over and over again. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. One more time. Down, 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 up, 4, 1. Now the rest of our strumming pattern is going to happen on an A chord. So far we've gone down, down, and then on the G chord, down, up. Now our A chord starts on an upstroke, and we're going to go up, up, down. Let's just get that part for now. Let's start at the G. We're going to go down, up, 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 down. 1, 2, down, up, A, up, down. 3, 4. 1, 2, down, up, down. 3, 4. And that's going to be the toughest part, in my opinion, for this whole song pretty much. So work on that. Just take a look at the strokes, take a look at the counting. Notice I'm practicing it a particular way. All the parts of the pattern that we're not really playing, I've just replaced with counting. So we're still playing it within the right amount of time. So work on it just like that. And then all we have to do is add down, down, up at the end for that A chord. Once again, we're starting on the G. 1, 2, down, up, down, 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 up. 1, 2, down, up, down, 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 up. It might help to look at the counting and to count at your own pace as slow as you need to go, going like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, just going between the G and the A chord like that. I would just practice that so much just to get used to it and to, work it out at your own pace. And then finally, once you have that, we can add the D chord back at the beginning. We're going to do it super slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 that's pretty much the whole song once you can do that, so work it out slow and steady at your own pace. Break it down just like we did, going through little bits of it so that we can work out all the motions, build up the muscle memory. And when you're ready, we can try that a few times, just like we would in the recording, a little bit faster. Not fast, but, halfway between ultra slow and what they're doing in the recording. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. So we would do that 8 times total, and then we would play the bridge. And the bridge is just an A chord, and I just go downstrokes only, counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we do that 6 times. And to help us keep track of it, I would count it a particular way. I would go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 3. So I'm just taking the first number, 1, and I'm counting how many measures have passed. So that way I can keep track of all 6 measures. You'll see what I mean. Let's just try it together. You can always just watch this, see what's going on, and then try it with me after. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 4 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 5 and 2 and 3 and 4 6 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then it's back into the rest of it. So I just got up to 6 measures. And also, another thing I was doing there was I was making my strumming a little bit bigger as we got further and further. So I started off really quiet. And then as we got further, by the 6th measure, you really let loose. But that section is pretty straightforward. It's just downstrokes the whole time, and we just build up and we count along to make sure that we do it the right amount of time. Now, with what we've done so far, you could play through the entire tune, but there's a couple extra things that I'd like to go over just so we can make it sound as authentic as possible. First thing is the ending lick, and it goes like this. And to play that, we're on the A string, and we just go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're just going up 1 fret at a time. Let's just try that a couple times slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then after that, once we get up to the 5th fret, we play a D7 chord once. And you could just do a plain old D chord, but it sounds a bit cooler with the D7 chord. To do that, I have my ring finger on the 2nd fret of the highest string, then the 1st fret with my index, and then my middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. When you put that together, so just try that at your own pace, and we would add that to the end of the bridge or the build up. So we're doing our build up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the other part that I'd like to go over is the intro riff. It goes like this. And that follows the exact same rhythm as our strumming pattern. So once you're comfortable with the strumming pattern, this intro riff is going to seem a lot easier. So I recommend, working out all that first. But let's take a look at it anyways. We start off on the A string going 0, 2, 4. So open, 2nd fret, and then the 4th fret. And now from this point on, it's really similar to the rhythm of our strumming pattern. We go. We play the D string open, oh, oh, and that was just like going at the start of our pattern, except we're only playing the open D string. And then we go to the 3rd fret of the thickest string and we go down, up, just like we went down, up on our G chord, down, up. And then we're going to go to the open A string. And the start of that is similar to what we did before. Our A chord started with up, up, down, and then it went on from there. So on that open A string, we're going to go up, up, and then we just go down, up, down, up. It's simple because it's just steady rhythm at this point. So up, up, down, up, down, up. Just try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, up, up, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, up, up, down, up, down, up. And then we go 2, 4. So let's try adding that 2, 4. 2, 3, 4, up, up, down, up, down, up. 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, up, up, down. And I'm going to show you this whole thing with the counting underneath, just so you can see how it all lines up. Let's ignore that at the beginning for now. Let's just take a look at this bit and let's compare that to our strumming pattern. So you can see how it all lines up. And we can go through it really slowly, starting off on the open D string. 3, 4, 1, 2, down, up, 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 down, up, down, up. 2, 4, 1, 2, down, up, down, up, down, up, doo-doo. And you could, if you're playing with a friend, one of you could strum the chords, the other one of you could play that riff. That's what's really cool about it. Or you could just play it at the beginning. And that's what we're going to do right now. So take a moment with it, take a look at it and work through the strokes, go through it nice and slow. This isn't something you can expect to just get right away. You just work on it slowly. Remember that it closely resembles our strumming pattern in terms of rhythm, and to just work on it a little bit at a time, like the A part on its own and then add the G part before it, etc., just like we did with the strumming pattern. Anyways, now that we've taken a look at all the different parts of this tune, let's put it together. We're going to play our own little version of it, starting off with the intro, then we're going to play our main riff a few times, then we're going to do our build up and the ending, and that's going to be it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So at the end of that build up, we did the ending there, but you could just go back into our main riff and just keep going back and forth between those parts. Other than that, I think that's pretty much everything for this tune. If you need any extra help, don't forget about my free ebook, my complete beginner's course. I have a strumming course coming out that's designed to help you build up your rhythm. My beginner's course does that as well, but this course is going to take that and take it much further. Playing and singing and all that kind of stuff. There's also the chord chart on my Patreon. You can always ask if you need any help. Otherwise, have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.